Okay, today I'm going to be teaching you about a couple special systems, okay? And these special systems are ones that come up every once in a while, and they have kind of weird answers, okay? Now, if you have two lines, all right, and how many different ways can those lines be set up? Well, there's actually three ways you can do that. They can either cross each other one time, they can never cross each other, or it may be that they're just the same line, so they'll cross everything will be the same. Okay, so that's the three things that can happen when you have two lines and you graph two lines. They can either cross once, which in this case is right there, right? They can never cross because they're parallel, or they can cross everywhere because they're the same line. Get what I'm doing there? So that's what we're going to be learning today is what's going on there. And if you want to make this actually look more realistic, change it to a 1. But that's the deal. You with me? When sometimes they have one solution, sometimes they have no solution. Why doesn't this one have no solution? Because two lines that never cross each other will never have an answer that's the same. And this one has an infinite amount of solutions because every point on every line is the same. Okay? All right. Either one of three things can happen. Either you get an answer, or you knock off all the letters and what's left is false, or you knock off all the letters and what left is true. See, this is false, and this is true. 0 is not equal to 1, but 0 is equal to 0. Okay? So if you knock off the variables, you need to look at what's left, and whatever's left, if it's true, then the answer is infinite solutions, or all numbers. If it's false, then the answer is no solution. So the best way to do this is just do a couple examples, okay? Now, hopefully by now you've been doing systems of equations for a while now, probably 5 or 6 days, so solving this should not be hard for you. All right, so what do I want to do? Well, probably the best way to solve this problem is elimination, right? So I'm going to take the first equation, and I'm going to multiply it by a -1, because hopefully you'll see that if I multiply this one by a -1, the x's will go away. So if I do that, I'm going to draw this, I'm going to write this down here. It becomes -3x minus 2y equals -10. Now everything's lined up, right? And these are opposites, and I get 0 plus 0 is equal to -8. So I get 0 is equal to -8. Is that true, or is this false? See, the variables all went away. So now that the variables went away, I know that it's either no solution or infinite many solutions. So which is it? Well, is 0 equal to -8? No, this is false, and that means no solution. Okay? Now, why does it have no solution? Because these two lines, if I graph them, they'd be parallel to each other. If I was to figure out the slope of this line and figure out the slope of this line, they both have the same slope. And if you just do a little bit of math in your head, you can figure it out. This has a slope of -3/2, and this has a slope of -3/2. So this has no solution. And what's nice about a no solution is you can't check it because there is no number that works. Got it? All right, so let's look at the second example. In this example, I want to somehow get rid of something, right? Well, right now I notice that this is positive y, this is -2y. So if I multiply the top equation by 2, what happens? Well, this becomes 10x plus 2y equals -4. Add those together, I get 0 plus 0 is equal to 0. I get 0 is equal to 0. Is that true or is that false? That is true. Which means the variables went away, so is it no solution or is it infinite many solutions? Well, since this is true, it is infinite many solutions. You can write infinite many solutions, but I like writing all numbers. Okay? And you do not need to check those. All right, one more example. Let's look at this one. Well, right now I notice in this problem that these are already opposites, so I'm just going to add them together. I get 2x plus 4x is 6x. Positive 3y, negative 3y makes 0, so they're gone. And this makes 0. Now you may be looking at this and saying, well, 6x equals 0 means, well, 6 is not equal to 0, so it's no solution. But you're wrong, because I can actually solve this problem. 6x is equal to 0, so when I divide both sides by 6, I end up with x equaling 0. That is an answer. It just so happens these two graphs, when you graph those two graphs, they cross at x equals 0. Okay? So what do I have to do to find out what y is? Well, I have to plug in that 0 for x into one of the equations. I'm going to do the first one. And I get 3y equals 6. So y is 2. This graph, when I graph those two lines, they cross at 0, negative 0, positive 2. That's my answer. Okay? So that's all there is to this. It's a real easy lesson. Either whatever's left, if the variables go away, if everything that's left is false, it's no solution. If whatever's left is true, it's all numbers. And if the variables don't go away, you just get an answer. Okay? And that's it. Good luck with it.